Hello learners of all ages, my name is Mr. Montgomery. I teach 4th and 5th grade math, and today we're going to be learning how to multiply a fraction and a whole number. So it's very similar to what we did during the last lesson, except this time we're going to be following through with what I told 4th graders to kind of look forward to. Every once in a while you're going to have your numerator be bigger than your denominator, which means that we got to change it back to a mixed fraction. And they're going to want you to make sure that it is simplified. So for example, I had the number 12 tenths as just an example to help us refresh our memory. Well, we can see this as an example of a division problem. 12 divided by 10, and then we use the popcorn method after to get our mixed number. Well, 12 divided by 10, 10 goes into 12 one time. 10 times 1 is 10. We subtract 12 minus 10 to get 2. Start from the top because it rhymes with pop. And we have 1 as our whole number, 2 tenths. But 1 and 2 tenths is not in simplest form. 2 and 10 are both even numbers and can be divided by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1, 10 divided by 2 is 5, so my answer would be 1 and 1/5. So let's take a look at a problem in the book. I have 20 times 7 tenths. Well, any whole number that is just a whole number that needs to be multiplied, we need to put it over 1. So now I have 20 over 1. Again, it has the same value as 20. Now I can multiply straight across. Well, it might be kind of daunting to take 20 times 7 and 1 times 10. We can do it, and we are going to do it, but I'll show you an easier way after this. So I have 1 times 10, well that's going to be 10, and 20 times 7, well I have 1 0 in my problem, 1 0 in my answer. 2 times 7 is 140. Another way we could have done it is I have my zeros here. Well, I can cross them out, and now I have 2 times 7, which is 14, over 1. And my answer should be 14. Well here, I notice that I have my zeros here, and I have to change it from a mixed number, or sorry, I have to change it back to a mixed number. So I'm gonna have 140 divided by 10. 10 can go into 14 once. That's 10, and I have 4 left over. Bring down my 0. 10 can go into 40 4 times. That would be 40, and I have 0 left over. In both of them, I got the answer 14. Now, this is more of a 5th grade concept, knowing when to slash the zeros or when to cross simplify is what it's called. I looked at 20 and 10 because they are diagonal from each other and realized I could simplify those first before I started multiplying. Makes my multiplication a lot more simple, and it prevents me from trying to simplify at the very end. Let's take a look at another problem. I have 8 times 6 eighths. Well, I'm gonna have to rewrite that 8 from a whole number as a fraction by putting it over 1. Now, I can cross simplify in this one. I double checked. 1 and 6, because they're diagonal from each other, I can't do that. Because I would have to divide 1 by 1 and 6 by 1, it'd still be the same thing. But 8 and 8, I can cross simplify those. I can cross and cross, and they can both be divided by 8. 8 divided by 8 is 1. So they would both be 1. So it's almost like I'm writing it as 1 over 1 times 6 over 1. And now I can multiply across. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 6 is 6. Anything over 1 would be considered a whole number, which is 6. If I were to do it, and if this is a little bit confusing and a little bit fast, this is, again, more of a 5th grade concept, but I know some 4th graders would be curious and might be able to understand it. But going back to the 4th grade way, 8 over 1 times 6 over 8, I can multiply across. I'll start with my denominator. 1 times 8 is 8, and 6 times 8 is 48. Well, now I can divide 48 divided by 8. 48 divided by 8. Well, didn't I just say that 6 times 8 was 48? So that would go into it 6 times, that's 48. I have 0 left over, which means 6 is my answer. I got 6 as my answer using this method, and I got 6 as my answer in this method too. Let's take a look at one last problem. Sometimes you might not be able to cross simplify, and you might have to solve it out the regular way, such as 57 times 1/2. My first step, put my whole number over 1. Now I know that 57 is a prime number. It cannot really be divided into anything else. So I know that it's not an even number, and I can't simplify. So I have to multiply straight across. 57 times 1 is 57. and 1 times 2 is 2. Well, now I have 57 over 2. I'm going to have to do my divide and popcorn method. So 57 divided by 2. 2 can go into 5 2 times. 2 times 2 is 4. I subtract to figure out how much I have left, and I bring down my 7. I have 17 left. Can 2 go into 17? It sure can. It can go into it, let's see, 8 times. 2 times 8 is 16. And I have 1 left over. Pot and top both rhyme, so we start at the top. 28 and 1/2 should be my answer. 28 and 1/2. Let's take a look at one more problem. I have 10 times 12 hundredths. First thing I do is I put my 10 over 1. Now, I'm going to be solving this the normal way, and then I'll be solving it the cross simplification way. But 10 times 12 is 120, and 1 times 100 is 100. Well, I know that I need to take my 120 divided by 100. 100 can go to 120 one time. That's 100. I have 20 left over, and using the popcorn method, we start at the top. Pop and top both rhyme. Moving over to the right. 1 and 20 hundredths. 1 and 20 hundredths. But I still need to simplify because 20 and 100 can be brought smaller. I could divide both of them by 10, right? If I divide both of them by 10, that would be 2 tenths. But 2 and 10 are both even numbers still, so I'd have to divide one more time by 2. That'd be 1 and 1/5. Now, if I were to cross simplify from the very beginning, such as here, if I went back to this step, I could cross out 1 0 here because I'm dividing both sides by 10 and one side here. My new number would be 1 over 1 times 12 over 10. Well, that would equal 12 over 10. I would use my long division of 12 divided by 10. 10 can go into 12 one time, which would be 10. And I would have 2 here. 1 and 2 tenths, which is what we had over here. 1 and 2 tenths. And we would simplify by dividing by 2, since 2 tenths is an even number, to get 1 and 1/5. You can get 1 and 1/5 both ways. It doesn't matter if you cross simplify from the very beginning, if it is possible. Sometimes it is possible, sometimes it's not, and you have to do the long division method and simplify multiple times in order to get down to the number that you need it to be in simplest form. All right, my 4th grade friends, if we take a look at page 191, you will see that we're doing practice problems number 1, 7, and 14. For number 1, the directions say rewrite the expression with the whole number as a fraction. So you're going to be changing 13 times 11/12 into a fraction times a fraction. Don't forget what we do with whole numbers before we start multiplying. For 7 and 14, they want you to multiply. Write your answer as a whole number or as a mixed number if needed. Also, make sure that your number is in simplest form. If you have any questions about how to multiply a fraction and a whole number, let me know when you come to class tomorrow.